Good morning and welcome back to WKNI TV 25 on this beautiful day, the 27th day of February. It's short February, it's 28 days, so tomorrow is the last day of February, and it's a beautiful Wednesday morning. We have the opportunity to have once again a person from LBW Community College on board. We have Jimmy Hutto, the Associate Dean, Adult Education and Workforce Development, this morning, telling us a lot about some of the adult programs going on over there. We were talking about the GED program toward the end of the last segment, and there's some new things coming up about that, new requirements. Can you share with us?
Sure. I'd like to. I'd like to start out by giving just a kind of a brief history of the GED in the United States, because that'll help everyone understand kind of how it has evolved. The GED actually started in 1942. It was developed by the American Council on Education as a tool for returning veterans from World War II to document their high school credentials so they could go on to college if they wanted to, or enter some sort of training or whatever they wanted to do. And of course then it just spread from there, and during those years it has been upgraded and several times. The version that we're working with today is the 2002 version of the exam. That's the fourth version. The fifth version will be available and will be utilized beginning in January of 2014. And every time the test is changed, of course, there's new information, there's new things that have been developed in business and industry that impact what people need to know. So it's always a change associated with it, but this test promises to be the biggest change ever. The test will be, they tell us, significantly more difficult academically. It's going to be designed not only to measure a person's preparation to enter college, but also there will be a workforce entry credential associated with that. So business and industry have had a good deal of input into the contents on this exam, and it's based on something called Common Core standards that have been accepted by many states nationwide, Alabama being one of them. The current test has 5 parts. Those 5 parts are writing, social studies, science, reading, and math. The reading and writing will be combined in the 2014 test, so there'll be only, and it'll be called just literacy, and so there'll only be 4 parts to it. So the new test will be significantly more challenging. Another very big change that we feel like is going to impact the test taker significantly is the test will not be available as a written exam. It will only be available as a computer-based assessment. So computer skills are going to become much more critical. Of course, that has a significant impact for us in preparing these students to take this 2014 exam, and we're working right now on how we need to change our curriculum and what we need to do to better prepare people for the 2014 exam, all the while still preparing people for the 2002 exam. Now, if a person needs to get their GED and would like to take advantage of our services, we strongly encourage everyone to come on in now, and let's get started and get you finished prior to the end of this year. This is particularly true if you have perhaps taken the GED and passed 3 parts of it, say, and you need 2 more parts. As long as we do it in 2013, you can just take the 2 parts that you have not passed and get your GED. But January 1st, 2014, everything you've done in the past will be wiped out. You'll have to start all over. So another reason for coming on in and getting it done, getting it taken care of. There are 2 essays on the new GED rather than 1. Again, here the computer skills, these essays will have to be keyed in. So pointing and clicking is not going to be good enough. You're going to have some keyboarding skills, because those are timed essays. It takes a certain, not only do you have to write it, you have to key it into the computer. So a lot of things going on. It's affecting our staff, the state, But we're working on it, and we're there to help.
Well, one of the things I sat there and I said, boy, they got you. And, you know, I heard about the computer and all that. You'll actually be using a computer
Right.
to do all of this. And I said, oh, geez, it'll be easy. You got spell check.
No.
They take that off. It's spelling's part of it. So I fail, okay? I spell, how do they say it, phonics, you know, I spell by phonics. But anyway, that's an important thing. I'm glad you brought up, because there are some folks out there that have, you know, postponed or not finished, and that's the way it's set up now. If you pass 1, 2, or 3 items on there, those are done. You know, you don't have to worry about them again.
That's right.
But now, okay, with 2014, you're starting all over. And also, there's a cost increase.
Absolutely. The current exam in Alabama costs $50. The state of Alabama has not settled on a price yet for the new exam, but it will be a minimum of $120, and we've heard figures as high as $150.
Right.
And of course, we, as an adult ed community, are working, our state staff are working with the legislature trying to figure out some ways to find some funding to perhaps help people offset this cost, but we don't know what's going to happen there. So again, doing it in 2013 saves at least $100.
It's, yeah, it's, when it comes to money, not a lot of us have it. And,
right.
And when you're fighting to better yourself, how long does the GED take? I mean, for people that start, I mean, if here we are going into March, and let's say 10 people out there watching the show right now say, you know what, I'm going to go get my GED before the 2014. Can they successfully complete the program by 2014?
Many of them can. The amount of time that it takes to complete the preparation for the GED depends totally on where you are when you start. You know, if we do your initial assessment and you come in at a 10th or 11th grade level, you're probably looking at a few weeks of preparation, and then you're ready to take the GED. If you've been out of school for a long time and have a little more work to do than that, then that'll take some more time. But most everyone, if they worked at it, could if they started now, would be ready to take the test by December.
Well, one of the things that comes to mind when you're saying the time element wise on it, say they take it, well, first, let me ask you this. Can you take the GED test without any preparation to see where you're at, or?
Oh, you can, but I don't recommend that, because first it costs $50 to do that. And you can come to us and we can give you the same assessment to see where you are.
Okay.
You know, in fact, we have, we don't do this initially, but as a person nears the point where they're ready to take the test, we have what's called GED practice, official GED practice exams that we administer to students.
Questions that are actually on the test,
right,
but not the test maybe that you'll be taking.
And based on how they perform on that test, we can have confidence that they're ready for the GED. In fact, right now, if students score high enough, the number happens to be 500, on each segment of that GED practice exam, and if they've been in an adult education program in the state of Alabama, we can do a little paperwork and get that $50 fee waived for them. If they've done the work and they prove on the practice test, yes, if you spend $50 on me, I'll pass that test. So, you know,
well, there's incentives all over to get
right,
her done, as
right,
they say, and we've got. Is there any class limitations? I mean, if 50 people came in today and signed up, is there a maximum number of people?
No, sir. We will do whatever we need to do to help whoever comes.
Well, I encourage anybody out there that does not, I don't care how old you are, that does not have a GED or a high school diploma. Arguments are, well, I don't need it. Okay, the argument is there, yeah, you do. I mean, in this industry that we're in today, in broadcasting, I can remember days when I first got in it, they didn't care. You know, now you've got to have a bachelor's degree to sit over there and do what Carlton's doing for a big network TV station. And I mean, I can show you a website after website of where they require not just experience, but a, some kind of, degree in that field.
Yeah. Another number that may be interesting to everyone, just in the state of Alabama, there's more than 800,000 people who don't have a high school credential. They're working age and don't have a high school credential. There's about 13,000 of those, little more than 13,000 of those in our 3-county service area. So there's a lot of people. That's based on the 2010 census. So there's a lot of people out there.
You could add another, what they say, 10% to that that didn't answer,
didn't respond,
or didn't respond honestly, as
right,
they say.
Right.
But wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Well, all 13,000 of you can go to LBW. He said there's no limit on the amount of people that they can handle, but I encourage it, and I'll tell you, you won't regret it, I'm sure, because my son, when he came home with that GED diploma, it wasn't his AIT school, it wasn't his uniform that he was proud of, but it was that diploma. You remember that, Teresa? And he held that up there, and he was proud of that. And it's a good feeling.
And he had a right to be. And we do a graduation ceremony each year with gowns and the whole thing. And not only are the students proud of their accomplishments, our faculty and staff is proud of their accomplishments.
Well, and we're going to go to commercial break, but I have to remind people, you saw it here on WKNI, 2 years ago, when the former jail administrator at Coffee County had the GED program going through the jail, and they actually had, I think, 5 or 6 graduate with their GED, and the sheriff made a big deal out of it, presented diplomas and stuff. I thought that was totally awesome. And I don't know if y'all do that here at the local, jail, but hey, there's a possibility there too of getting some teaching going over there. There's all opportunities. There's no reason in today's society and technology not to be able to be what you want to be.
Absolutely.
And with that, starting out with a high school education, if you're in school, please stay in school.
Absolutely.
All right. Get that. I don't care if you don't like the teacher, or you don't like the principal, or you don't like somebody sitting next to you. The rest of your life will not be with those people.
That's right.
Okay? The rest of your life will be what you do in that classroom, though.
And that's an important point that you make. We don't encourage anyone to leave school to take the GED. Stay in school and do it that way. But if circumstances in life have caused you to not be able to do that, come see us and we'll help you.
Well, I can tell you right now, the Covington County and Andalusia Op and Red Level, I believe it is, city school systems are just fantastic.
Absolutely.
We are very blessed in this community to have outstanding local schools. Andalusia High School, Strawn High School, Florella High School, Opp High School, Red Level High School,
Pleasant Home.
Pleasant Home. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting because they're down there. But Pleasant Home, wonderful curriculum,
Absolutely.
Wonderful faculty, and each and every one of them. Doc Shakespeare over here in Andalusia, the man is incredible.
Absolutely.
He really is, and so are the other principals. But Doc, him and I have kind of a little thing together, and it's kind of cool because, I have a lot of respect for people that continue their education, and that man certainly has.
He has.
He has. But, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and if Mr. Hutto don't mind, Jimmy, hang around for one more segment, and we'll talk a little bit about, once you get all that said and done, there are trades that you all have over there that you train adults for. And that there's money in it.
Absolutely.
I talked to a young man that took a welding course over there, and he's making $60,000 a year. Come on, people. We're talking, I make a third of that, okay? And that man makes $60,000 a year, and he took a course right here, in fact, where you're at MacArthur, I believe it is, where your office is. And he says, Eddie, that's the best class I ever took. But we'll be talking about that when we come back after these messages. Remember,
keep it real.
Keep Jesus in it. We love y'all. God bless.